Good morning, everyone. Coach Jandy here. So I want to talk about personalities and personality differences and how people get along. I have been teaching this for many years, probably about 15 years. I have been teaching personality profiles and their differences and how they impact you in the workplace as well as in relationships. And let me tell you, of all the things that you can learn, I think this is a huge one that we need to be teaching even in grade school, because we would probably get along a whole lot better as a society. So basically, there are 4 personality types that I want to take you through to help you understand your relationships and why you may or may not be getting along with someone. So I'm going to take you through these and understand that, like anything, there's some gray area. You may not have exactly all of these particular parts of your personality, but for the most part, people can identify with one primary personality. Now, we have parts of all 4, okay? But by percentage, we're going to primarily be one and then have a secondary, and then, of course, the third and the fourth. We operate most of the time out of the primary, but under stress, we usually, that secondary personality usually kicks in. Okay, so let's start. Now, I know some of y'all probably have heard of different personality profile tests, and there's all kinds from ABCD, which I'm going to take you through, to different animal styles, to different colors and things like that. So, A-type personality. A-type personality is your driver personality. They're usually going to be your CEOs, your president types, your managers, your go-getters. They're usually risk takers, and they're people that are very forward thinking. So they're usually very successful in the business realm. Now, with the A-type personality, they're very driven, they're very passionate, they're very eager. They can be quick to talk, quick to do things, quick in decision making. So they're not going to lag behind. Now, those are the good qualities, and I'm going to take you through each personality, like what's the good, strong, and then what are the things you got to look out for. So now the A-type personality have also been kind of called anal retentive, okay? So they can be uptight. They can take risk, and sometimes the risk can be bad, and it can be, a little scary at times. They don't like for you to linger, okay? So they're not going to usually be the type to just stand around and talk about nothing. You need to get in and you need to get out, okay? So personalities that want to linger and talk a long time and go into all the detail, they're not going to have time for it. They're going to get impatient. So they can be impatient in their personalities. So you want to get in and get out with the information and bring all the data and bring the main data. You don't go into a whole bunch of detail. Just tell them basically what to do so that they can move forward. Okay, so now that is an A. So B-type personality is like myself. Chatty Cathy, talkative, life of the party, have not met a stranger. Hi, who are you? Okay, so we're very energetic, very friendly, we're outgoing, and usually have a smile on our faces. And that's the positive. We see things in positive ways. Now, the bad side can be that sometimes people misread and misunderstand us, that we like to hear ourselves talk. And it isn't that. I know for myself, I've been working on that a long time so that I change that perception. But what it is that our brains, the B brain, works so fast that we've already thought out what you're about to say. We know what you're about to say probably, and so we just get anxious. We're like little puppies, and I've said this in another video. It's like we almost want to pee emotionally on everybody, but we want to get it out there because we're so excited that we have to speak now. And so it's not that we're trying to cut you off. It's not that we're trying to be rude or hear ourselves talk. It is not that at all, but we just get anxious, and also we tend to forget. B personalities, because they are kind of hyped up and high energy, I know I forget things very easily. So if I don't write it down or say it right now, it's going to be lost, and I don't want to do that. So B personalities, even though they're very outgoing, they can have that misperception that they can be all about them, and a lot of times it really isn't that case. It's the case that they just get so excited to be around you and with you and to share that it comes off the wrong way. Okay, so C-type personalities. C-type personalities, they love the minutia, they love the detail, the pie charts, the graphs, they're going to ask the questions. So they're very thoughtful. A lot of times they're very giving in community and things like that. But for the C personality, sometimes they can, analyze to paralysis, and get stuck in that. Sometimes they're going to ask too many questions. And if you've got a class, and I know that you all have been in one of those where you've got one person that just keeps asking questions after question and you get annoyed with them, that usually is going to be your C-type personality. So they can get really stuck in their brain, to where they can't get out, and just be present to you. So, but C personalities are really great because, man, they can get into that detail, they can plan things for you, and it's wonderful. Okay, so D personalities. D personalities are probably the most misunderstood personality, and oftentimes feel like it's unfortunate they're so misunderstood. But D personalities are very relaxed. They're usually, it's kind of the phrase, don't worry, be happy. They're laid back. They're not on anybody else's time clock. They usually biologically work on a different time clock. They're the ones that are up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and want to sleep until noon. And the A's and the B personalities don't understand them because they oftentimes call them lazy. When they're not lazy, it's just that they're on a different time clock biologically, chemistry-wise. But they're very thoughtful. They usually like work that is the same, so whether it's manufacturing or, whatever it is, office work, just usually something that is the same thing day in and day out. They like that methodology in things. They're usually not people, so they're not going to have a whole lot of friends. They're not going to want to go to the big parties. They're usually going to have a small group of friends, rather stay home, read a book. They're very intellectual usually and very smart. Usually a lot of times they're computer operators, they're artists and graphic designers and things like that. So very talented group, but oftentimes very misunderstood as lazy when it is not that at all. So those are the 4 basic types. Now there is an E personality, but in all of my literally thousands of profiling individuals, through an electronic means and testing them, I've never seen a primary E personality. And I think that would be scary because the E personality is a chameleon. They're basically a combination of all 4 almost equally. So I think with that, it would be kind of like I think that person would be a little scary. So, but like myself, I usually test out as a BE. So usually it shows up in a secondary or 3rd or 4th personality. And that works for me because my B personality, being a trainer and a coach, I need that chameleon personality to be able to interact with different people in different groups. So I'm a BE. A lot of people are ACs or CAs or, DC, so that's your mixture of different personalities. So why I really want to talk about this is because it's so easy to misunderstand somebody and to judge what they're doing and to think, oh, it's all about me, or they're trying to hurt me or trying to offend me, or gosh, that person is a blah blah blah, and it's not that at all. Sometimes it can be, absolutely, that person could be not a good person and mean or vindictive or trying to hurt you, but sometimes it's literally just their personality. So I know for myself, being a B personality, and I have some high A as well, is that I can take over things and I can talk over people and get things done. I'm a doer, I'm a mover, So sometimes that can be offensive to another person because they think that, well, I don't trust them to get it done, or maybe they're not as knowledgeable, and it's not that at all. I don't mean to take over, it's just my personality. So I work very hard in my situations and my relationships to not do that, okay? So I have counseled and coached and mentored people through personalities in their relationships, because many marriages, and relationships falter because people don't understand their personality differences. I had one family that it was a couple and 2 children. They tested out. I had an A, a primary B, a primary C, and a primary D. Now, can you imagine? And then they were wondering why, as a family unit, they weren't getting along. It's because nobody understood each other's personality. So if we understand each other's personalities, we can better help each other. We can understand each other. We can be more forgiving of each other. So take a look at this video a couple times, really understand the 4 personality types, be forgiving of other people, that it's not necessarily just that they're trying to do something to you, but that it's part of their personality. Now, that doesn't let them off the hook. Tell them, this is bothering me. I know that for myself, like I said, I've worked on aspects of that natural personality, of that go-getter, and, to not overwhelm people. So that's what I have for you today. Study about behaviors and personalities, because it will really, really, really help your relationships. So thank you, guys. I know this was a little bit longer than usual, but I thought that this was a really good teaching lesson in order to help save relationships. So hope you all have a great one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.